6 months ago, I made a video about quitting alcohol, and it's one of those videos that has resonated with a lot of people. I get messages on that video every day from people who will have ended up watching it because they've realized that they probably have a problem with drinking. We always thought like you would have people who drink and alcoholics, and they were kind of two separate things. But what we've realized recently is that alcoholism is a spectrum. I would argue that many people who drink are alcoholics without even realizing it. Many of them are high functioning alcoholics, but they cannot quit drinking. And if you cannot quit something, then you are addicted to that thing. So I feel like if you're here watching this video in the first place, then you realize that you need to address something's going on. And yeah, it's really sort of well, it's kind of overwhelming to read all these messages every day that come through on that video. I get like notifications on my YouTube letting me know that somebody's commented on it, and it's always people who are there just to open up and say like, I'm really struggling. So I wanted to make a follow-up video where I talk directly to you about your journey and the journey ahead. First of all, I just want to say that there are some people out there who can easily manage their alcohol. They can have like one glass of wine a week and that's it, and then they can not drink for like another month and they're fine. This video, it really is going out to people who drink like I would have drank quite heavily, like can't imagine going like a couple of weeks without it. Like the idea of going without alcohol for a month is like such an alien thing. What's upsetting about anyone who tries to reach out who has a problem with drinking, a lot of it is just kind of met with like, oh yeah, we're drinking too much, sort of laughed off, and you sort of slapped on the back like it's like almost like it's a good thing. I think sometimes when a lot of people have a problem with something, they make light out of that thing in order to make it seem less, well, give it less gravity. So there's an element of that. But what I want to talk about to you today really is just candidly and openly honest about your journey and what's ahead. So I was drinking from when I was a teenager, right up to when I was like late 30s, 40s. I think I was like 41 when I quit. So I've been sober now for 9 months. I've been drinking a lot of Freestar, which is my favorite non-alcoholic drink. It just tastes exactly like beer to me now. So I've been drinking a lot of that. But it's been a really tough journey, and it actually took me probably about 6 months of not drinking before I stopped thinking about it. I always dreamed of getting to the point with alcohol where I thought about it in the same way that I thought about smoking cigarettes. Like I just don't think about it. It just doesn't come into my head because I don't do it. And I was really excited and wondering when that day would come. And eventually after about 6 months, days would pass where I didn't crave it. Weeks would then start passing where I didn't crave it. Like I would go to a social event and not even want to have any alcohol. Now I have absolutely like no desire for it whatsoever. My brain has almost forgotten about the taste and how delicious it is. I every now and again, like I'll see a guy drinking a beer in a pub garden or something like that, and I'll see like that ambery sparkly liquid, and I'll think, that looks so tasty, I'd love to have a beer. But then I realize like, actually, you don't need it, Steph, you're fine, you're good. So yeah, I just want you to know that if you're watching this video, and if you've watched my last video and you've come to this video after that I have your back. And if you want, commit to your sobriety in the comments of this video, and just say I'm starting today, and know that you have people with you, and you know that you have people supporting you, and know that you have people there that are willing you to beat this thing. And you can do it, trust me. As coming from somebody who drank so heavily and absolutely was madly in love with alcohol, you can do it. You can do it, and you'll be so proud of yourself eventually. You'll end up going like, a few months being like, I can do this. It's such a like an empowering thing to know that you have the power, you have the willpower, and you have the agency to be able to quit something that you desire so much. It's a very important thing. I think in life now, we live these lives where we just, we have access to whatever we want instantly. We don't ever need to deny ourselves of things. And I think it's a really important practice to do in life, is to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and to deny yourself things that you want to have. Because I know this sounds a bit trite, but what we want and what we need are extremely separate things. And I think it takes a long time to learn that. When you're a kid, it's all conflated. Like what you want is exactly what you need. And when you get older, you realize, oh my God, these things could not be further apart. Like I do a lot of cold water immersion. I know I always bang on about it, but I never ever want to get in that cold water. But I really need to do it. It makes me feel a lot better. It just makes me psychologically feel like I'm just running on optimum. And that's another thing quitting alcohol has done. My wife and I, Hannah, recently have been going through some real, like, we just have bad news after bad news. So, you know, when they say, like, when it rains, it pours, it's been like one of those situations. It has been pouring on us. Like, it got to the point the other day where I got into bed and I was thinking, at least now I'm in bed, nothing bad can happen. And then literally as I was thinking that, my wife's hot water bottle exploded and splashed my face with boiling water. It's like that. But I honestly believe that if I was drinking alcohol and if I was sort of, my body was still sort of getting over a hangover, which isn't like, a hangover is not something that is just like a bit of a headache the next day. I mean, maybe it is when you're 18 and you're in your teenage years, but when you get older, it permeates through the week. So it ends in you being just depressed and anxious and feeling low, and your sleep patterns are broken, and it really has a negative impact over the rest of your week. It vibrates over everything. So had we have been drinking, and had I been kind of probably I had a few drinks on a Friday or Saturday, and all these bad things happened throughout the week, it would have probably spiraled me into a dark place, and I probably would have found myself depressed. But from quitting alcohol now, when these negative things happen, you can deal with them far easier. It feels like your brain is just working optimally all the time. Is that a word? Optimally? Clearly not working for me. But yeah, it's like working at optimum all the time. It's working at its best capacity. So a weird byproduct of it as well is I feel less selfish now because I'm a better dad. And I'm being a better dad to my two young boys because I'm not drinking and making myself a worse version of me for them. So I think it's a really good thing to do while you have kids. And I know sometimes we think, shit, we need to drink. We've got kids, like, you need to drink. But I think what it can end up doing is making you a worse parent. And then you can end up feeling guilty and then anxious about it and then depressed, and then whatever, it just spirals from there. So if you found yourself here watching this video, then it's for a reason. There's a small part of you that's saying, you got a problem and you need to do something about it. But luckily, you're not alone, and we've got you back. And like I said, put a comment in this video just to say today's the first day, and I'm just gonna do it. I'm just off it, and you'll be surprised at how supportive people can be when you tell them. It's gonna be such a difficult road. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be really hard. There's so many situations where you'll want to give up, and you'll be like in a bar or something like that, and everyone else is drinking and you're not, and you're thinking, I don't recognize this person I don't recognize this person. Like this sober person standing here while all these people are drinking and they're all judging me for not drinking. You got to push past that and just be like, I'm actually got more willpower than all these people in this room because I can deny myself the thing that I really want to have. Some people will assume all sorts of things as to the reasons why you'll quit, and I think why you've quit. But I think just tell them, like, I just think it's good for me for a while. I'm just going to come off it for a while and just see how you feel. You honestly need to give it a good, 6 months before you really start to think, holy shit, I feel so much better now. I feel so much better. And it's funny because it has like this butterfly effect over the rest of your life. You don't say stupid stuff. You don't, you're not embarrassing yourself. You're not kind of letting yourself down. You're just being the best version of yourself all the time. And waking up, I can't see how nice it is to wake up and not feel crap. Like, wake up and just feel great. You always you always got energy. You've always had good night's sleeps. I have one of these things called like I'm not wearing it right now, it's charging, but it's called an Oura ring. And it tracks my sleep, and my sleep is incredible. I'm getting scores of like 80s to 90% every night. Good REM sleep, not waking up with anxiety. Although that said, I did wake up the other night with anxiety, but that's a very rare thing. So it still will happen. It's not like it completely, eradicates anxiety, but it just helps with it so much. So if you're here, if you're watching this, know that I've got your back. Know that you're here for a reason. Know that I'm on this journey with you. And every time that it's difficult for you and you feel like you're alone in that struggle, remember you're not alone. You have so many of us with you, urging you on. And if you fail, if you commit to this, and if after 2 weeks you fail, it doesn't matter. Just get back on the bandwagon again, okay? Just get back on and start from scratch and keep going, all right? Just try not to. Just try to push yourself and try and have that mental fortitude to push through. And I honestly think, and I honestly believe, you'll be so glad that you did in a few months. You've just got to push through. Head down. Just grind through it. Grind through those urges. Grind through the romanticization. I don't know if that's a word, of drinking alcohol. You got to push through all of that, and eventually, like I said, it will just be like thinking about smoking. That's how your brain's gonna think about it. Just like having a cigarette, you don't think about it because you don't smoke. Anyway, I got you back. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your comments below, telling me that you're gonna get on this journey, and yeah, know that you have us with you, supporting you all the way. Good luck. You can do it. I believe in you. Bye.